Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Mike's House of Mods. If you're new, I have a 2000 Saturn Sky. I'm doing all kinds of modifications to inside and out. If you're not new to my channel, you'll know that I am doing a turbo build on my 2.4 liter engine. It's going pretty well so far, and I got a few more things I have to do. One of them is I got the DDMWorks A-Pillar Pod. I guess you call it a pod something. It's where you put your gauges on there. I have a turbo boost gauge and an air fuel mixture gauge that I'm going to be installing on that. So that's what this video is going to be about, is talking about how I'm installing it. And also I open up a merchandise site, www.mikeshouseofmods.com, where you can buy some really cool Saturn Sky and Pontiac Solstice apparel, basically. And it's going to have t-shirts and hoodies and cups and mugs and all kinds of stuff on there. So I'm adding some new stuff to it all the time. Be sure to check it out. I'll put a link below. And that's about it. So let me go ahead and get started with this video. I kind of decided I'm going to wait to test the gauges and everything, because to do that I have to put this fuse tap on there, and once this fuse tap's on here, then I'm not going to be able to put my my protective thing around these around these wires. So because they're just kind of cut off right now. So I'm going to wait on that, wait on the testing. And by the way, the fuse, or I'm sorry, the gauge pod, I already put the gauges in there. They fit really nice. And it's right here. You can kind of see them, nice and protected. And then you plug the cables into the back of it there. I know it's hard to see in the plastic, but I don't want to take it back out again. So I think what I'm just going to do is remove the cold air charge pipe, or the cold side charge pipe, to get that ready to start painting it. Okay, as you saw, I got the charge pipe on the cold side taken off, and I started working on the interior for the gauge pod area. And just to kind of show you what I did, I took the old one off. It's down here, and let me show you. You basically have to, just show you real quick, there's a, wait, let me get it. It's actually over here. Here was the, I guess it goes this way, whichever way. Yeah, because I guess here was the visor. There's a hex bolt that goes under, or a Torx bolt that's under there. You gotta unscrew that. Once you take that off, you can pop this down, this trim piece here, which kind of loosens up the side one. And the side one right here, just in case you ever have to take this apart, the side one has clips. You can see here and here. They go into the holes here and down there. Once you take those clips off, you can kind of loosen it. Actually, it's upside down, like this. And then the wires for the speaker and the nav set, the OnStar is on it. So you basically just, this one a little bit of a pain in the butt. You basically just disconnect those. So those plugs are out. This whole piece is out. And then the new one right here is going to go in its place. Sorry if the camera works all shoddy here, but anyway, the new one's going to go here, like so. But what I have to do first is, which is kind of crazy, but you got to do it. In order to continue to use this little speaker here, these are plastic welds, so I got to drill those out. There's 3 of them. Drill those out. That way I'll be able to take this off. And then you use a silicone adhesive, and you basically just glue it onto the other one. And this is the OnStar microphone, which the other side looks like that. I don't use OnStar, so I'm not going to redo and use that. However, my head unit has a microphone for whenever I do talking on the phone, hands-free. So I'm thinking about somehow goes up here, just drilling a hole in this at the top there, and then it'll almost be like a perfect custom thing. Instead of me having it clipped on like I did, I can actually have it as a part of that center or the side A-frame pod, and that would look really cool. So what I gotta do in the meantime is drill these out to be able to keep this speaker and attach it to the new one. I wish these clips, I could do something with these clips so they would clip into there, but apparently it's tight enough that it just stays the new one from DDMWorks, it just kind of stays there on its own. And then once you put this piece back up in there, I'm sure it holds it in place as well. So anyway, that is what I'm going to do next. All right, so I was able to drill out this little speaker. Basically took my drill and just drilled right down into the kind of the area where the holes were, because it was a plastic weld. It snapped off there real easily, so that's out. And I don't need this. So what I need to do is take the DDMWorks one. Let's see, I guess I'll go this way with it. And what I'm supposed to do is add some adhesive to the speaker, and kind of, I guess add some adhesive to this part as well. Kind of glue it down, and then also maybe like at least 2 of these little clips, because one of them stays up pretty high. So I didn't have the adhesive that they recommended, but I do have some JB Weld. So hopefully this is going to work instead. So anyway, I get this speaker attached to there, and they say to make sure the wires are kind of facing up towards the cables, because I think that's where it comes out of the A-pillar anyway. So let me go and get this thing glued on there. They do recommend sanding some of this down first. I'm not sure if it was on the speaker here. Then I'm going to at least sand this part on the actual pillar area, just to make it rough a little bit. Now when you put it on, you want to, hopefully this works, but I don't know. I don't know if this JB Weld's going to work or not. Okay, my idea of using JB Weld on this piece just wasn't working out. It just wasn't sticking. I don't know what the deal was. So rather than screw around with it, I took the speaker out of the holder. I guess you can call it a holder, kind of like the holder grill. And I used some silicone adhesive around the outside, and then also to put down these little tabs here. Once this is dry, I can just go ahead and snap this back in, and this will have that speaker ready. And then I'll go ahead and I'll drill the hole for the microphone that I have for my hands-free head unit. Alright, speaker is in, all installed. It's actually pretty solid here. I'm probably going to throw some tape on here just to double make sure that it's on there good, but it's on there pretty solid. And I started drilling the hole for the microphone, and it's pretty much going to be this thick, but this is a little bit too big, but I'm going to use it as a reference point because my microphone's attached to the car. So I'm basically going to take my Dremel and just kind of work this hole a little bit until it's a little bit less than this size, and hopefully it's going to be tight enough that I can just push that microphone in and it'll stay there on its own. So you get my Dremel and start working on that. Okay, I'm making some pretty good progress here. I got the, again, the speakers in there, and I drilled the hole. Unfortunately, I went a little crazy with my Dremel, made it a little bit too big, but that's fine. I put a piece of tape on there, so I'm going to do, I already put a little hole there. I'm going to push the microphone through there, and added tape is going to snug it up nicely. I already tried it once and it worked. So, so now I'm ready to run these wires, and what I did, just to kind of show you, they used to just kind of be sitting out here into nothing, but I took this side panel off. You can see right here the side panel, and I ran the wires up through there, around here, and now they're all going to be inside the A-pillar. And then whenever I put this back on, right here, it's going to be nice and snug and keep them all there. So I'm going to go and hook these cables up to the gauges, hook this up to the speaker, hook the microphone up into that little hole, probably tape it down again just to make sure, and hopefully the A-pillar gauge thing is going to be snapped in there nicely, and obviously put this back, but and that'll be that part of this to be done. I'm still waiting for my little nice shrink tube thing to come in from Amazon. It was supposed to be here yesterday. They said there's a delay. I'm hoping I'm going to get it today, but it's still delayed. So I really hope I get it tomorrow because I can't run the power until I get that tube thing. So anyway, hopefully as long as I can at least get these gauges on here and mounted, I'll be pretty happy. So that is what I'm going to do now. All right, so last night I pretty much got the gauges installed, the gauge pod and everything. Have a little issue up here with kind of a gap. I don't know if you can kind of see it, a gap there. See, I can push it up and it's not there, and there it is. And I'm guessing probably the wires are in here. I have to kind of reroute them a little bit. They're probably somehow pushing away, which I'll mess with a little bit. And I still have this extra wiring here that I'm going to tuck up underneath of the dash as well. So still got those two things to do. I'll wrap those up shortly. But in the meantime, I did get my package in the mail finally from Amazon. One of them is a bunch of twist ties. They're not twist ties, these zip tie things. I just figured while I was on Amazon I'd order those anyway. And then the other thing I got, if I can open it with one hand, is kind of this shrinkable hose kind of thing here, or shrinkable line, whatever. I'm basically going to feed the wires through here and run them across the firewall for the power and the negative, and so it'll look a lot better, a lot more OEM looking. So I'm going to go ahead and tackle this now and be able to plug in the gauges to make sure they light up at least and they kind of work. And then I'll go ahead and I'll tackle the fit and finish of that gauge pod. So we'll go ahead and do the wiring now. Okay, so here's what I got so far. I got my wires in the protective coating here. That was a bit of a pain in the neck pushing those through. I also was using these little connectors, and I found out, I still have them on the negative, I'm going to be taking them off. When I had them all connected, and I'm actually over in the fuse box, that's all connected, the ground is connected, and I turned the ignition on and nothing worked. So I was like, oh crap. But anyway, I found out that it was actually these goofy little connectors that comes with the gauges. Apparently not. The negative ones are working because the gauges did come back on, but the positive ones weren't. So I just kind of twisted them together and taped them up temporarily just to see if that was what the problem was. And as we can see, we go ahead and put it in here. They are working. So so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to solder the lines together instead. So I'm going to take these negative ones off as well, solder them together, tape them up, and protect them with even more tape. And going over to the fuse box, I'll just kind of show you what I did over here. I have the fuse connected to, I think it's number 45 if I remember right. Let's see, yeah, number 45 here with a fuse tap and the wires coming out. I'll probably just might just put a little notch in the fuse box here to kind of run the wire down and out of the way so you can't see that. And then I have the negative one coming over here. That's kind of hard to see. There's a bolt on a piece of metal that is, well, I really can't see it. There's a bolt on a piece of metal there that I have the negative connected to. So the wiring is good. I just have to kind of button it up now with the soldering and make it look nice and tidy. And then I'll come back and I'll deal with the actual gauge pod and get that all set up and looking much better. So that is what I'm going to plan on doing today. All right, all the wiring is soldered and I kind of have it running back under here. I'm going to use some zip ties to tie it down up against something so it doesn't really move anywhere, and it goes on there. So you're not able to see the black and red wire because I have it all nice and covered. It looks just like every other wire that's under there. And I did have a little issue with the fuse box, however, but I solved that. As you can see, I have the fuse tap here. It's going to be going into this slot right here, which I guess is 45. That fits in there. And then I took my little Dremel and the little notch there so I can run the cable down, or the wire right down into there. But then I had the problem with the fuse box itself, or the fuse top, where this piece right here was a solid piece that went all the way across, and it actually went right over top of where my fuse tap is. So my trusty Dremel, I went and I put a notch into there, and real quick, well, I don't have it right in there perfectly, but there it is. Actually, it is perfect now. So that fits in there nice, it's solid. My wire's coming out here, it's not getting in the way of anything. And then again, my negative is going over to a screw that's screwed into the power steering pump bracket. And we are good to go as far as that. Like I said, I just have to tie these, do a little zip tie action on the cables here. This is my light. To get those out of the way. And that's done. So the only other thing I have to do as far as the gauges, again, is the little trimming up or whatever for the pod, the A-Pillar pod. Alright, that wraps up this video. I hope you liked it. Getting pretty close to the end of this turbo build. Can't wait till it's done so I go out there and see what this baby will do. If you like this video, smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell so you can see future videos that I'm going to be coming up with. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more. And be sure to visit my merch store, mikeshouseofmods.com, if you want to check out some pretty cool items on there as well. So that pretty much is it, and I'll see you in the next video.